Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. This time, I'm going to invite a person who is very dear to me personally. One of the people that I really admire the most within the Pakistani community at large. He is none other than General Zubair Mahmood Hayat Saab, ex-chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff. He is one of the best speakers that I've ever seen in my life. And my daughter, when she attended his event, she said this was the only session that I did not sleep through. With this, may I invite General Saab to please come up to the stage and grace us with your talk. Thank you very much, sir.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ijaz, Sabi, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. And thank you for inviting me once again to the CEO Summit, this time in Islamabad. I know that including this session that you have just concluded, you have had two wonderful sessions, and probably you are looking forward to post-lunch 2 other sessions. So in my brief 20-minute talk, I'll try and contextualize testing times and reshaping the future. And in doing so, my strategy would be to zoom out rather than zoom in, to try and come to a single point for reshaping the future. So the first point, testing time. Indeed, it is a testing time. We have more people living on the globe than at any time in human history, over 8 billion people. Of this, more than 2.8 billion people live on my borders, the two most populous nations on the earth. And Pakistan itself is now the fifth most populous nation in the world. There are more active hot wars taking place in the world than in more recent history. There is a hot war in Ukraine. There is a hot war in the Middle East. There are more IDPs in the world than at any time post Second World War, 71 million IDPs and counting. There are more refugees in the world at this time. There are 120 million registered refugees in the world at the moment. Indeed, testing times. There is more hunger in the world. There are more than 345 million people accounted as in severe hunger category by the United Nations. And these testing times have actually meant a global financial meltdown. Let me give you the context. The global debt in 2015 was $210 trillion. Just after 8 years, the global debt is 365 trillion US dollars. The US debt, the US which has a GDP of something like 24 trillion, now has a debt of 33 trillion. In this testing time, there is a collapse of global power structures. There is a collapse of global institutional structures, and there is a global political meltdown. There is a social media meltdown, and wokeness is taking over. He and she, which were common words with you and me, are being replaced by they and them. And mother, which was to me the most sacred word in human dictionary, is now being considered by some as hate speech. We are also in the testing time because of the fake news, which has created what many call as the post-truth world. And last but not the least, we are in testing times because of global climate change. And as the United Nations Secretary General had said, from global warming, the globe has transited to global boiling. And Pakistan, as you know, is amongst the 10th most impacted countries by climate change. In this global challenge, you can see financial stress. Let me give you two examples. Meta has lost $37 billion in 3 years. Twitter, which was bought by Elon Musk for $44 billion, now is estimated only at $19 billion. So if this are the testing time, then how do you shape the future? To me, the future is basically shaped on two foundational pillars of economy and security. And the mean to achieve both in reshaping the future is technology. And that's the key word that I leave today as far as reshaping the future is concerned. Because as far as technologies are concerned, we only have three choices in front of us. Either we can swim against the stream, or we can crawl on the bank and watch the world pass by, or we can swim with the stream, fully exploiting the potentials and opportunities that technology provides. And I'm a great believer in Carberg's first law of technology. We have been very accustomed to Newton's laws of motion. I think we should start becoming more attuned to and knowledgeable of the laws of technology. So according to Carberg's first law of technology, technology is neither good nor bad nor neutral, meaning it is what you make out of it. And therefore, in shaping the future, we must realize that the technology has four overarching characteristics. It is digital, it is intelligent, it is interconnected, and it is distributed. And therefore, it is not one whole sum, but it is a system of systems. So while the emerging technologies might take another 20 years to fully develop, they will be transformative, they will shape the future being revolutionary, they are emergent. And based on these three, they will create not only multiple generational shifts, but may I dare say, they will create civilizational shifts. We are, and I say, in the midst of an explosion of innovation. There are at least 6 major innovative platforms evolving, shaping the future, right at the same time. For such an innovative environment, we'll have to go back by about 200 years. When electricity bulb was, innovated in 1802, telephone in 1876, and automobile in 1885. Today, you have AI, blockchain, quantum computing, energy storage, robotics, and genetic sequencing. These three elements leading and converging. But what is interesting and important is that we don't have individual technologies doing one S-curve at a time. We have S-curves feeding S-curves, and that too feeding them autonomously. And therefore, as I said, this is going to be very transformative, but also very disruptive. Let me give you the example of technological scales. The additive manufacturing, what's normally called as the 3D printing. In 2016, the global value market for additive manufacturing was $5.8 billion US. In 2027, that's 4 years from now, the global market would have risen to over $55 billion US. It's not only in the financial scale, it is also in the breathtaking advancements. A chip, which will be the hottest commodity in future. In 1995, the smallest chip was 350 nanometers. In 2023, the smallest chip is 3 nanometers. So in less than 30 years' time, a generation's gap, from 350 nanometers, the chip size has been reduced, available commercially, to 3 nanometers. And therefore, it is no wonder that some call AI as the most important technology ever invented, because it emulates human cognition. And that's why the future is both disturbing and exciting. And it emulates perception, reasoning, planning, and learning. And AI is able to perform autonomously all these functions, and see how that will shape the future. And the fields that will be impacted almost across the spectrum, but more importantly, it will be precision, cyber, information, space, logistics, medicine, in diagnostic, in treatments, in reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, in agriculture. In a country like Pakistan, which has a substantive portion of its GDP from agriculture, we must learn. Today, intelligent AI-driven drones are working in American fields and in the Chinese fields. They are being used to kill weeds and to harvest crops. But for the future, the most important part of the intelligence, artificial intelligence, is probably the symbiotic intelligence. Symbiotic intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, is when humans and machines, but these are not ordinary machines, they are cognitive machines. When humans and machines, they work together, and they work together as trusted partners in a very complex hybrid environment. And therefore, it was only yesterday that a new declaration has been signed by 23 countries, including the United States, China, UK, and the European Union. And they have signed a declaration called the Bletchley Declaration, signed yesterday. It's basically a safety pledge for the use of development and use of a safe and responsible artificial intelligence. But interestingly, this declaration has been signed at a place, as I said, called Bletchley, north of London. Is the same place where the German Enigma code was deciphered during Second World War. Very interesting. So therefore, some people very rightly say, and I subscribe, that the greatest danger with the artificial intelligence is that people may conclude too early that they understand it. The second part of the future, what will shape, is quantum technologies. Now, quantum technology, it exploits quantum physics and associated phenomena at atomic and subatomic scale. And the fields that it will impact, and they are very relevant to Pakistan, are materials, predictive analysis, sensors, imaging, navigation, communication, computation, and cryptography. As we speak, through quantum technologies, machine learning algorithms are being applied to genetic data sets, and they are generating a new capability of editing genes. Last but not the least, shaping the future is what is called BHET, B-H-E-T, which stands for Bio-Human Enhancement Technology. And Pakistan being the 5th largest populous nation, having the human resource, this Bio-Human Enhancement Technology can actually enable Pakistan not leapfrog, but take a humongous leap for the future. Now, what this Bio-Human Enhancement Technology intends to do in the future is to seek to combine 3 things. It seeks to combine bio, nano, and neuro. And in doing so, it will be applied and used on muscles, molecular components, organisms, and the important thing is that they will be derived from living things and will be applied on living things. Now, these human enhancement technologies will be in the field of biomedical intervention to improve human beings, and they can be enhanced in their psychology, in their cognitive domains, in their social functions, and in their neurological functions. It may also enhance synthetic biology, DNA sequencing, biomedicals, biosensors, bioinformatics, human augmentation, and pharmacology. Now, the examples of human augmentation for a population like Pakistan would be enhancing imagery, sights, and situational awareness. And how would that be done? It would be done through implants, glasses, and contact lenses. These future BHET technologies will be able to restore and program muscles. They will be able to enhance auditory enhancements, and there will be a neural enhancement. And that's the most exciting future prospects, neural enhancements. A two-way data transfer between a machine and human mind. That is what will take place. But it will have its challenges. It will have its ethical challenges. It will have legal challenges. And last but not the least, it will have its policy changes. So therefore, as I conclude, this reshaping of the future will require a new framework in 6 domains. It will require, first of all, national ownership. It will require a societal technological reorientation. Your debate in the society has to shift to technology. It will require technological governance network. Only then the populace and technology will be able to harmonize with each other. It will require a technological driven education system right from the start to the highest education. You will have to incentivize technology. And for all that, obviously you require an enabled human resource. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I have laid out what it means about testing time and how you shape the future. Therefore, in this era of technological revolution, which is shaping the future, if you cannot change the narrative, and narrative is more broadly a political term, you should intentionally create your own technological narrative, which can then transcend time and space. And as far as Pakistan is concerned, that time, ladies and gentlemen, is now. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.
Jalal Saab, always an inspiration listening to you. And one thing that I've learned today is that at a retirement age of a person, we tend to stop learning. And today, Jalal Saab was talking as an IT expert virtually, which was, bouncing over my head. I chair an IT company, but, half of it bounced over my head. But I think what this really means that we should continue to read, because all leaders are good readers, and I think that is the real thing that I've seen today. So, gentlemen, we need to be ready for this change, embrace change. It will be disruptive, but there'll be a lot of opportunities, and we need to actually ride on that road to success together. Thank you very much.